technical drawing. Instead of preparing physical models, I want you to work about these technical drawings in this online education period. The name of these drawings are called, the name of the first drawing that I'm going to draw here is a structural floor plan. Structural floor plan is the common name that we give to the technical drawings which is about the structural parts of the buildings. So like the physical models, like the foundation physical models, we prepare technical drawings of the foundation and of the floor, different floors of our buildings, and we call them structural plan. And if the floor is made of reinforced concrete, they may also be called as reinforced concrete formwork plans. If it is steel, we call them structural plans, but there is nothing wrong if you call a reinforced concrete floor system structural technical plan as a structural floor plan. So basically what you will do is, we are working on this building at the studio parts of the course. So the first thing that I want you to do is to draw the borders of the building. Okay, so I'm now going to draw it without a scale, but I want you to draw it in 1 to 50 scale. And let's write the name of the drawing as well. Let's zoom into the paper a little bit in order to make you see it more clearly. Okay, so the scale is 1 to 50 and the name of the drawing is the structural floor plan. If you have A3 millimetric papers with you, it will ease your job to draw it with the scale. If you do not, don't worry, you have got rulers, and anyway I'm drawing it as a sketch on this plain paper as well. Okay, so what you will do, you will firstly draw the borders of the building. Okay, let's draw it all together. Okay, so here is the unscaled drawing of our building. Okay, this is the borders of our building. Okay, remember, what do we have? We have a veranda right here and a stair system right here. Okay, let's say that this is the veranda. Okay, you use an angle ruler. Okay, measure it and draw it scaled in 1 to 50, like the scale that we use in the physical model. Okay, and here is the entrance stair of the building. Okay, so I draw all these to orientate you inside the building. Okay, the second thing that I want you to do, I want you to draw these columns in their places. Okay, there are 6 columns in the building. We have got one right here. Okay, you remember this from the studio hours of our course. Okay, we have the 3rd column right here. Okay, we have another one standing right here, and the 5th one is standing on this corner of the building, and the final one is located on the right hand side bottom corner of the building. Okay, in order to see them more clearly, let's hatch them. Okay, so here is the here are the columns of our building. Okay, so as you see, I have drawn the columns by pressing on my pencil more hardly in order to make them seen very clearly. Okay, so today we have talked about 2 reinforced concrete floor types. First type was reinforced concrete slab floor, and the second type is reinforced concrete flat slab floor. Okay, so flat slab floor are rather rarely used in architecture, so let's continue preparing these drawings with our reinforced concrete slab floor system. So you know, in reinforced concrete slab floors, what we do, we connect the columns to each other with main beams. And remember, what was the width of those main beams? The width of those main beams are 30 centimeters. Okay, and these main beams connect all the columns to each other. Okay, like this. Okay, and we have got one long one right here. Okay, we have got one more right there. Okay, we have got, okay, one more right here. Okay, and we have got the final one standing right there. Okay, so these are the top view of our beams. Okay, and now in fact everything is finished. Okay, this is the reinforced concrete slab floor structural plan. Okay, so we have got columns here. Okay, we have got main beams there. Okay, and what do we have? We have got slabs right here. Okay, these are the slabs. Okay, so remember that in architectural technical drawings, what do? We draw. Okay, that's the first thing that we need to do. Sorry, I need to move this a little bit to this side. Okay, we draw. Secondly, we write. And thirdly, we give dimensions. Okay, so now that we have drawn everything very, very right, okay, let's add the second information, which is the written information. Okay, so let's put an arrow here. Okay, I'm not putting a horizontal line, a vertical line, or a spline like that. Okay, I just draw a diagonal line and put a pointing horizontal line. Okay, to that. Okay, this is a text indicator. Okay, the reason why I don't draw horizontal or vertical lines is because if I draw them, it is going to be confused. It's going to confuse people looking at your drawing if that line belongs to something architectural or that's just a symbol which is representing a written information. Okay, that's why I draw a diagonal line and I put a small horizontal line which is marking or pointing the text. Okay, so what is that? That is reinforced concrete beam, isn't it? Okay, if we want, we can even write the size of it. It is 30 by 50 centimeters, 30 width and 50 height. We cannot see the height here. We can only see the width, which is 30 centimeters here. Okay, and let's repeat this information, the same written information a couple of times. I'm going to put here one more arrow and I'm going to write the same thing. That is reinforced concrete beam. Okay, with a size of 30 by 50. Okay, and I'm going to put one more of it right here maybe. Okay, reinforced concrete beam with a size of 30 centimeters by 50 centimeters. Okay, and then what else do I have? I have a column here. Okay, let's put the same kind of a diagonal line and a small horizontal line, and let's write that it's reinforced concrete column. Okay, you remember here the size of the columns are written inside these boxes. Okay, and they are 40 by 100. Okay, so we know those sizes. Okay, so we can easily write next to it or underneath it 40 by 100 centimeters, which is the section size of the, just a second, section size of the column. Okay, and let's repeat that information one more time here. Reinforced concrete column. Okay, again with a section size of 40 centimeter by 100 centimeters. Okay, and we have got a larger column here. You remember, in order to tie this beam and that beam to the same column, instead of placing two small columns here, we have put a single large shear column, kind of a column there. Okay, that's also a reinforced concrete column. Okay, but this time you can check its size here. It is 25 by 2.25 centimeters. Okay, so 25 by 2.25 or 25 by 225 centimeters. Okay, almost everything is finished. Now what we need to do, these hatched parts are what? They are reinforced concrete slab. Okay, RC floor slab. I'm going to write here. Okay, I, as you see, have put two small symbols here, like that. Okay, it is trying to mean that all that surface is that reinforced concrete slab floor. Okay, and I'm going to write it once more here, RC floor slab. Okay, now the written information is also finished. Okay, what am I going to do? So I'm going to put a check here. The drawn information is all right. I'm going to put a check here. I have written all the technical names of the things that I have drawn. Now I have to give some dimensions. How am I going to give those dimensions? I'm going to put here a dimension line like that. Okay, and I'm going to write that this is 30. You can measure this dimension and you can write it, you can calculate that dimension. This is also 30 and that's also 30. Okay, I'm not going to lose time for trying to calculate the distance between two beams here. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw another dimension line right here. Okay, and I'm going to write again the dimensions over that line. Okay, don't forget that dimension lines are always written like you are drawing it with right hand. Okay, so I draw it like this and I write the dimension above the dimension line. Okay, not below it, not on it, above the dimension line. Let's write it, let's say that this is, for example, 560 centimeters. Okay, I wrote it above the dimension line. Okay, and I'm going to put one more dimension line right here. Okay, again the width of the beam is 30, so this is maybe something like 700 and this is also 30. Okay, now I can also put a check for the dimensions as well. Okay, so this plan is trying to represent a three-dimensional complex object, okay, which is the floor itself. Okay, so representing that three-dimensional thing in two-dimensional medium. Okay, just a second, let's try to do it this way. Okay, representing it with just a two-dimensional single plan drawing will not be enough. Okay, so what we need to do, so what do I try to mean? If I show just top view of it, okay, you cannot understand the third dimension of it. In order to understand the third dimension of this thing, you need to look from one side and at least from another side, from two sides. Okay, and top view. Okay, side view, another side view, and top view is going to give us all the secrets about that three-dimensional object, which means that we need to support this drawing with at least two section drawings. Okay, I'm going to draw a section from here. Here is the section mark, and I'm going to draw another section here. Here is the section mark. Okay, and I will name them as A section. Okay, what should I do then? I should draw that AA section right on top of this drawing. In order to do it, okay, I'm going to put here another paper like that, okay, because I have already used my paper by writing here some technical information. Okay, I'm going to tape okay, an extra paper, okay, above my existing drawing in order to gain enough empty space for me to draw that section. Okay, so this is, let's assume that this is an intermediate floor, okay, in order to ease our job. Okay, so let's start with the columns firstly. Okay, I'm going to carry lines from the plan to the upside. Okay, and what will I do? I am going to draw it with thick lines like that. Okay, not very thick, but a little bit thick lines. Okay, so since small h, we know that dashed and dotted line represent some things being cut. Okay, so we are working on just the floor, not the entire building. Okay, so we do not need to draw the entire column from the foundation to top. Okay, we just need to draw some of that column. Okay, and when we put dashed and dotted line below and top of that column lines, okay, it will mean that this column continues down and it continues up. Okay, but I am not dealing with the upper and lower parts of it. I am just dealing with the part of it which it intersects with the column. Okay, that's why I put dashed and dotted lines representing that it continues up and down. Okay, and I have another column here, so I'm going to carry again lines from here to there. Okay, I'm going to put a dashed and dotted line again. Okay, and I'm going to draw with thicker lines my columns. Column. Here is my column. Okay, and I'm going to finish it with dashed and dotted line again. Okay, and I will do the same thing for the final column. Okay, so again we can carry lines from there. Okay, here is our dashed and dotted line, and here is the other dashed and dotted line. Okay, and this is the view of my column in the background. Okay, but the section plane, does it cut the column? No, it doesn't cut the columns. It doesn't cut any of the columns. Okay, so all these lines are something which is in elevation. Okay, what is our section plane cutting? Our section plane is cutting the beams and the floor slabs. Okay, so what will I do? Right in the middle of this column, I'm going to draw my beam. Okay, here is my first beam. Okay, and I'm going to hatch it in order to make you see it easily. Okay, and when we come to here, okay, the column and the beam, okay, I'm going to draw some very faint guidelines here. Okay, I'm going to draw the second beam here. Okay, like that. Here I'm not drawing it scaled, you draw it scaled. Don't forget that the columns, this size is 40 centimeters, okay, whereas the beam has a width of 30 centimeters. Okay, so between the beam and the end of the column you need to have 10 centimeters more. Okay, and I'm going to draw the final beam here. Okay, and I'm going to hatch it also. Okay, like that. Okay, and don't forget that we have got beams on elevation as well. Okay, that beam there, this beam here. Okay, they need to be drawn as well with faint lines. Okay, I draw them because they are in elevation. Okay, we see them in the background. Okay, here are those beams. Okay, so remember the lecture, please. You may probably watch the lecture again. It should be uploaded to its learning system. Okay, I'm not uploading it, but the related administrative organization of BAU will upload it probably soon. Maybe already they have uploaded it. I didn't check it yet. Okay, so you know that in slab floors, our beams dropping down from the ceiling are carrying what on top of them? They are carrying a plaque made of reinforced concrete on top of them. Okay, so the final thing that we will do is going to be the drawing of that floor slab. Okay, here is the floor slab. Okay, I'm going to hatch it as well in order to make you easily see it. Okay, that's that simple. Okay, so our floor section is something like this now. Okay, so what is the height of the beam? This height, okay, it is 50 centimeters. Okay, what is the width of it? It is 30 centimeters. Okay, you see the 30 is here. Okay, so because in this plan, this plan seems like we cut it from here and look down. Okay, and now what we need to do, okay, we have draw the top view. This is the top view. We have draw the long side view. We need to draw the short side view. Okay, so what will I do? I am going to put another section arrow here and there, okay, which is going to cut the building from here. I'm going to turn the page like this, and in order to draw, in order to gain some space, I'm going to again tape another paper like that. Okay, just a second. Let's use our tape efficiently. Okay, we don't need that much of tape. Okay, so what will I do? I'm going to carry these lines now. Okay, I see this column in the background. Okay, let's draw it. Here is my column. Okay, this time it is very large. Remember, it was 2.25 meters. Okay, here is my dashed and dotted line. Okay, and I draw it the same dashed and dotted line to top of it. Okay, it means that column continues up. Okay, and the second column that I'm going to draw is this one. Okay, and that one. Okay, here is that column standing like that. Okay, again I'm going to put dashed and dotted line here. Okay, and what will I do? I am going to draw my beam right here. This is the first beam. Okay, I guess there's someone on the door. I need to answer that and come back in a while.